Come in.
How you doing today?
I was wondering if you guys would show up.
Of course we'll show up.
It's like a glass of
You
water.
settle down a little today?
Yes, I did, because it's not productive to be in that mode.
That's right.
I'd rather have a real discussion about this because it's very important. Carol has been doing this for 40 years. And I believe she has wasted all of that time, contributions, and everything on this cult.
Okay, before you go on, we know that that would be a non-productive
But let me ask you, have you researched on YouTube at all? Have you looked at the videos?
You know, it's well-known fact, Bo, that YouTube is not a clear representation of truth.
Have you looked in? I'm asking you a question.
Of course
Of
not.
course not. Well, see, that puts you at a serious disadvantage.
Okay. Let me.
No, I'm going to say my point. I'm conducting this. This is my home. I'm not in the Watchtower.
This is your home?
I'm not in the Kingdom Hall.
Excuse me.
Yes, I live here.
Do you pay anything?
I'm not going in this direction. I'm trying to
Let
have
me
a
tell you
discussion.
something right now. Let me just tell you
No,
something.
I'm not talking about my personal life. This is about points.
You threatened.
Look how many points.
You threatened the Kingdom Hall.
I did not threaten anyone. Look
Yes,
at how
we
many
have-
points
we
I
have-
have to discuss.
It's all on tape.
Let me tell you
What you
this.
said.
I'm going over some
We will
important.
call the police.
I'm
on
going to
you.
go over important points here. I'm not arguing. I'm having a discussion.
We're not going to do that.
All of these points are elaborated on YouTube in
doesn't-
detail, right out of Watchtower's own publications, right out of Watchtower's own mouths. These are all proven evidence of the corruptness of Watchtower. I'm not talking about the people of Watchtower. There's good people there.
You can put in.
I'm talking about the corporate leaders.
No, there is no corporate leadership.
There's nothing, YouTube is not reliable, anybody can put anything
You have
on
not
YouTube.
even looked into it.
Well, why would we? It's unreliable.
Because you have what's called the blinders, the Watchtower bubble, and you're not going to get the truth inside of that bubble. You have to look outside of it to find the truth. They're not going to tell you the dirt. They're not going to tell you about the 8 failed prophecies.
Bo,
They're not going to tell you about 1975.
Bo, you need
When
to
they
say-
went on
you
and
need
on.
to lower your
I know,
voice.
but I'm trying to make some points
Okay.
here. I have this many points to make.
We don't care to go through that with you. Here's the reason you came here.
I'm trying. Oh, let me tell you the reason why I'm doing this is I want to get Carol out of this so she can reclaim her life back.
Carol doesn't want to.
Carol was
to
an
do
adult, she could make her own decisions.
I am going to keep pursuing this because there's evidence on YouTube.
Do you know what you're setting yourself up for? There are legal ramifications of what you're doing. One is called elder abuse.
It is not abuse to point out the truth of a cult and a scam and a con.
The Supreme Court has decided for Jehovah's Witnesses over 40 times. You are a small player. You will be dealt with.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
You know what? Watchtower is being exposed on the internet for what it really is on YouTube. And you cannot even speak to
We're
it
the fastest
because you
growing
have not
religion on
even.
earth.
This is the rhetoric that they have put into your minds.
Okay, well,
It is not the
you
facts.
can believe whatever you want to believe.
Look how many points that I can go over that is proof on the YouTube.
We can come back with
Look at this.
400 times that much.
Do you know that the definition of a cult is explained on one of them videos, and it fits every definition of a cult?
Wow, that's.
Do you know about the history that Russell was a 33-degree Freemason? Did you know that?
Sure.
You did know that.
Yeah.
It was called Zion's Watchtower in the beginning with Masonic symbols. And it may be also associated with Illuminati and the New World Order. Their translation is called New World Translation.
Over 100 years ago, you're going back to dig up dirt on somebody who.
It goes 1975. They went on and on and on. That's not old history. They went on and on that was going to be the end of the world. For from 68 to 75, Watchtower put out that the end of the world is 1975.
That was not in the
Oh,
Watchtower.
there is proof.
You can't find it in writing anywhere in those.
I could get printouts of this. I could get the books.
We have the books. And there's nothing written in those. Trust us, we've done this research ourselves. But
You
here's
just
the
told
point.
me you haven't researched
We
YouTube.
don't use YouTube as a source. It's
It's
unreliable.
not reliable for
There-
even
no,
secular
It's not
people
even
will say
admissible in
that.
any court.
Did you
YouTube is
see
is
the
a hoax.
Royal Commission with the governing body, the editor-in-chief, not being honest and coming forth in front of the Royal Commission in Australia about the pedophile cases, over 1,000 of those?
So do you
Did you watch that?
Let me ask you something, Bo.
You know what he said
You
when they
believe-
asked
Do you
him?
believe everything you see on YouTube?
When there's proof, yes I do.
And
When it
what-
comes
what
right
do you-
out of their mouths, yes I do.
Oh,
You could say anything.
You know what he said when they said, "Do you think you are the only channel for God on the earth?" He said, "Well, it would be very presumptuous of me to say we are the only channel." And then they went and showed things from Watchtower where that is what they claim, and you know that's what they claim, is that they are the channel from God. You know, there's something about the faithful slave, which Russell had a book called The Finished Mystery in 1918 and 1919. He said, it is impossible from what the writings and the false prophecies, etc., the outrageous things in there, that Jesus would have approved of that religion to be the religion that God is, sending out the spiritual food to everyone by what was being published at that time.
why is this so offensive to you
It
since you don't
is,
believe in God?
Because Carol has I'll tell you my background too. I was brought up in this from an early age. I've had conflicts, I've had problems with this. The year that I spent studying this was one of the worst years of my entire life. I would struggle to make a friend, couldn't make a friend. I made like 3 kind of friends that I saw less than 10 times in a year. I talked to another guy there, said he's been there a year, he has not even made a friend. I said, what kind of a brotherhood is this? You can't make a friend. It's all about converting people to push Watchtower agenda so they can get more converts and more income for Watchtower. It's not, and let me tell you about the name Jehovah. That was made up. It came out of Aid to Bible Understanding.
Oh my.
Out of your own publication.
How many
That's crazy.
ancient Bible manuscripts
Yahweh,
have that name?
A Catholic monk came up with this in like 13th century, 1270. He took the YHWH and he took another word and he combined them. It's called Latinized. It's not even called English. He made up the name. It was invented.
That's not.
And if you Google it, it is called, in Hebrew, is the God of wickedness. That's what Jehovah means in Hebrew. Look it up. Google it.
We looked it up. That's not what it
So you believe everything?
New
you read?
Light is not New
So-
Light at all.
so-
That is talked about.
So Google and YouTube are your sources of life.
You know what? The internet and YouTube and Google, they are about educating people. They do not have an agenda to make converts and get income and con and scam people.
Income? You say income. Nobody
They,
calls it salary.
they had a
There's
document.
no income. There's no income.
They had a financial document where Watchtower made over 700 million in a year. This was many years ago.
What was that
And
money
then they
used for?
showed
What was
also-
that money used for? Wait a minute. What was that money used for? It was to
They could
produce
tell you
Bible
anything that
literature.
was used
It
for.
wasn't salaries.
Where's the proof?
It wasn't salaries. It was used to produce Bible literature. Where's their personal agenda in that?
Let me tell you another thing. You know how much they spent on personal relief efforts to help people that year? 23,000
Oh, that's not true.
out of 700 million. They have the document. They
Oh,
also
you believe that?
have
yet you do
IRS
everything.
documents that prove they have, I don't know if they still do, military, tobacco, and stocks, and also Lionsgate movie stocks that makes R-rated movies.
They don't buy stock.
They have stocks, hedge funds, and things like that.
Give me a break.
They have an affiliation with the UN that they kept
You know-
secret from
you know,
people
well,
too, which
you-
they call that Babylon the Great.
Okay, we're not going to listen to this.
Of
So-
course not, because you're in the Watchtower bubble and you
Okay,
haven't
okay.
investigated it to see if it's
You're
true.
not. But let's make some common sense out of how you're living your life.
No, I'm not talking about me personally
We are-
right now. No, this is not what I'm talking. See how you change this is
Well,
typical.
because
You
you
change
made-
the
you
subject
made threats.
rather than the points I'm
You want
making
to listen
here.
to the threats you made? We have.
I made no
Right.
threats.
You
What you
said-
are doing,
You said I'm coming down there to
what
raise
you are,
hell.
yeah, raise hell.
You said
That's
that.
talk.
That's a
Okay,
threat.
but we can.
Now let me
call
tell you
police on
something.
for those
Let me
threats.
tell you something. You know what you are doing? You are sidetracking me from the issues.
Do you have a police record?
You're sidetracking me
No, I think
instead
that's-
of giving me answers. This is typical of Jehovah's Witnesses, do not have answers to real questions and issues. They sidetrack you and they attack you personally
Because of you.
rather than answer the questions.
You know, Carol can actually get a restraining order.
I'm not, you know what?
against you, and you
If
can
you
be-
cannot discuss the issues,
There's no issues, Bo. You made this stuff up.
no, this is from YouTube,
Oh,
from
wow.
research.
What a source.
It is a
All
source.
scientists use YouTube. So.
You have no idea,
But
you know
we gotta
what?
tell you this, if
Do
she
you
gets a
know, let me tell you
restraining order,
something, do you
can
know?
go- You can go.
No, I'm not
to
gonna discuss my personal life, that is not the point right
With
here.
our personal lives.
I am angry about her wasting her life on this cult, and it is a cult.
So you don't mind us calling the police?
I am trying to discuss these issues with you, this
We're
is
going
what
to
my
file-
point
I think-
is.
I think we will file,
You know what? You're sidetracking the
harass-
issue. You
well-
know why? Because you don't have answers. Look how many things I can bring up that I can prove. I can hook videos to this big screen and I can prove it.
just so you know.
Okay, goodbye.
we
If
have
you
access-
cannot discuss it like an adult because you don't have the answers, you're in the dark, then you can leave. I have all of these points that I can prove
You can't-
out of your own literature, your own videos, your own mouths.
Can we just say something?
I can prove every one of
We
these.
just-
Proof.
You need, Carol has the right to.
Okay,
live her
goodbye.
life.
If it's gonna be sidetracked to my personal life, then goodbye. If you
Not
cannot
your
give me
life.
answers,
Carol's
this is
personal life.
typical. That I have every single thing I have on here, I can prove, I can hook it up to the TV and I
We
can
are
prove
going
it.
to,
Goodbye,
Give
goodbye,
these messages
Goodbye.
that you left on our.
goodbye,
on our
goodbye,
telephone.
goodbye.
We're gonna leave
Bye.
those with the police,
Bye.
so you know that.
You get out of my house.
This is-
Goodbye.
This is not your.
Bye. I'm gonna call the police for trespassing. Goodbye.
Please.